Good afternoon, listeners of Inspire Elsies Radio. Our guest today is no stranger to the community of Elsies River.
Yay, yay.
It's no stranger, and I think the organization that you're part of is also no stranger to community of Elsies River and the broader. So it's none other than Laurel from Badisa. Welcome.
Thank you.
I must say, we spoke before we got you on air and before recording that you were very busy today.
Yeah.
You had a gender-based violence event. You probably had a lot of other work commitments in the week.
We
But
always do.
Sure, everything for the community.
Why not? Why not? You know, that's what we're here for. We're here to serve. And I'm happily present today and happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Dankie, Inspire Elsies Radio. We must make Elsies lekker again.
Yes.
So we have to be involved in community events, especially this type of events where we're going out and saying, look, certain things have really got to stop now. It's been going on too long. We can no longer turn a blind eye. We're no longer looking at just 16 days of activism, but everything has to be done every single day. We must do everything to highlight the social ills in our community. And we need the community support, Nathaniel.
Most definitely.
I'm happy to be on behalf of the organization. So thank you so much.
No. I must thank you. It's always a pleasure having you here. Let's jump straight into it.
Yes.
The organization, Badisa, for many that many know about it,
Yeah.
but perhaps there's one or two that do not know.
Okay.
Can you just go straight into it, the work that you do in the community and everything, just straight into it?
I'm chomping at the bit. You're not going to give even a chance to ask any questions because I'm going to tell you everything. So my name is Laurel Chula-Chokante and I am a social worker at Badisa Elsies River. It is the designated child protection agency for this community. So the areas that we serve are the entire Elsies River. Now let's not get confused. A lot of people confuse us with Badisa Tigerberg. As 35th Avenue, from 35th Avenue towards Pinelands, towards Ruiterwacht, those are our service areas, excluding Leonsdale. Leonsdale is served by the Department of Social Development, Goodwood. So it's the entire Elsies River, Clark Estate, your Avonwood, Norwood, Salborough, all the way, Ruiterwacht, Thornton. Pinelands is also our service area.
Wow.
And then in that direction, Valhalla Park and Bishop Lavis. We do not serve from 35th Avenue towards Eitzig, Ravensmead. That's our sister organization, Badisa Tigerberg. So as a designated child protection agency, we're actually the biggest child protection agency under the Badisa umbrella.
Wow.
Badisa itself is an organization that has, look, at my last count, it was, I think, 148 programs. I stand corrected because at one point it was 98, and then they added more programs. It's 100 and some odd programs across the Western Cape, which includes your child and youth care centers. For example, Durbanville Children's Home is a program of Badisa. Steental Children's Home in Tilbach is a program of Badisa. Helderberg Children's Home in Robertson is a program of Badisa. Ramot, they also focus on substance addiction. Ramot is a program of Badisa. They also work with the visually impaired and the physically disabled. Your Alto de Toy School is a program of Badisa. So the services are broad. We also cater to the aged. Is the Kalen. Several old age homes are programs of Badisa. Is the Kalen comes out at the top of my head right now is a program of Badisa. So the services are very broad, but we specifically do child protection. So because we're based in Elsies River at 91 6th Street, behind the Rio Hotel, in the dead end, the opposite end of the street. Excellent is at the opposite end, and we're in the dead end. Next to Elsies Saps, it's just the open field that separates us from Elsies Saps. So people know exactly where to find us. I think at this stage the community know who we are, they know where we are. Our contact number is 021-932-6721. I'm giving those details now.
Yes.
If you want to tag us, check us out on Facebook or tag us with certain events and information, you're welcome to do so. You can just type in Badisa Elsies River. I'm not clued up on social media too much, so yeah. And at our organization, because we focus basically on child protection, we are an NGO. Please, people, we are an NGO, which means that we rely a lot on fundraising and donations and really open hands from the people around us to help us take care of the most vulnerable sector of people in our community, which is our children, our babies. And that's what we do. We are 17 social workers. That's why I say we're
Wow.
one of the biggest child
Wow.
protection agencies under Badisa. We are 17 social workers. We have 2 social auxiliary workers, 2 community developers, and 2 admin staff, 2 supervisors, and a manager. And obviously, we have a governing body of committed community members, volunteers who come with their own expertise and skills to help us run the organization in a way that's transparent. And we can be held accountable for how we render services to our community. Of course, our social workers, we work, like I said, from the reports of abuse and neglect of children come to our frontline workers, and they will be dispatched into the area to investigate reports of abuse. And I'd like to, at this stage, encourage your listeners and community members, if you are aware of any abuse, exploitation, neglect, abandonment of children, please come and report it. I'm going to give them the intake days. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, between 8 and 10, they're welcome to come with an affidavit. Very important. You need to come with documentation to state how we can assist you. Everything must be on that affidavit, but also it's also a way of protecting us as social workers. Back in the day, people used to come and report just because I didn't like my neighbor. I'm going to say she's abusing her kids, But now you need to come with a sworn affidavit, and with that affidavit, we will then open a file, and our workers will be allocated. Our field workers will be sent out to go and investigate those allegations. I want to also inform the public that confidentiality is guaranteed, anonymity is guaranteed. Besides the POPI Act, Protection of Personal Information Act, our Children's Act and our ethical codes as social workers requires that we maintain confidentiality to the highest degree possible to protect people that really honestly come and report real scenarios and real cases of where children are being hurt. So never be afraid to come and report. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's for Elsies River. Wednesdays are for Bishop Lavers. 8 till 10, same procedure with an affidavit. And then on Mondays, we have a satellite office in Valhalla Park at the Sharon Assembly Church. So the clients from Valhalla Park can just come to the Sharon Assembly Church on a Monday morning with their affidavit and come and report, or even just come and do an inquiry if they're concerned about the child or even their own children. So we try to make our services accessible to the community. We're still looking for a satellite office in Bishop Levels, if anybody in Bishop Levels is listening right now, because we realize our people don't have money. They can't be taking 2 taxis or how many taxis to come to us. They don't have money. That money for a taxi is a loaf of bread's money. So we want to be on your doorstep. We want to make the service accessible. We used to be at the church, the Uniting Dutch Reformed Church in Koppiesdam Road, but when COVID happened, we lost that space. So whoever is hearing me, please, if you have a space, offers a church space where we can just be in Bishop Lavers and serve that community, that'd be wonderful. But we are in Valhalla Park on Monday. So our frontline workers investigate all forms of abuse, neglect. And then we have our 90-day workers. Should the frontline workers then find that the child is in fact in need of care and protection, they will then, not in need of care and protection, but vulnerable at the stage and needs to be safeguarded. Then they will put the child in with a qualified and approved safety parent. Again, I'm going to make a call. I'm going to speak in a very jumbled way, but I'm hoping that as listeners, are listening in, that they can, if you want to find out more, you're welcome to call the office or you're welcome to come and ask. We desperately need safety parents and foster parents. We're in unfortunately, the signs of the time that we're living in is that families cannot, and some are not willing to take care of children. A lot of them are dependent on SASSA grants, which a lot of families, fairly enough, will say is not enough or not sufficient to raise this child. We want kids to stay with their parents. We want kids to be in a family. But if circumstances are of such a nature that the family is dysfunctional and the children are being exposed to a lot of things, we have to consider removing. But where do we go with these children? Now, children's access, family first. But like I said, a lot of times that doesn't always happen. So we need trusted, responsible, really loving people that open their hearts but also open their doors to children in need, where we're saying, let's not place our children in child and youth care centers. They used to be called children's homes. Because that's not the family. That's not the ideal. But those facilities are there for those desperate situations where there's really nobody in the community. And Elsies is a wonderful group of people. The Elsies community, if something happens, they come together. They can show you amazing things. They can come
united,
together.
you can
They
see
can
it,
come when there's something happening and you're united, you see it. Come on, people, come on. If you think you can serve as a safety parent, of course there are criteria, and we'll do.
I wanted to
No,
ask
there are
now.
criteria.
I wanted
There are
to know.
criteria. We cannot have an 80-year-old grandma says, "Look, I'm at home. I'm willing to take care of kids now." You're 80. You're in your twilight years. We should be taking care of you. So there shouldn't be a huge age gap between. There shouldn't be more than 40 years age gap between the carer and the child. Imagine a 60-year-old running after a toddler. No, man. So we have to also consider that there's criteria. Also, we're going to do police clearance checks and check your name against the child protection register and look at who's around you as your own support, because we also need to care for the carer. And then of course our foster parents. Oh wow, to those foster parents out there who've already opened their homes, I salute you. It's very difficult to take care of someone else's child. You don't know a lot of the times this background of this child that you're taking care of, but a lot of our foster parents are willing to put aside their own personal values to say, okay, I'm willing to take this child in and care for this child, and I'm going to put aside my own finicky ways to take care of this child, because this child didn't grow up in my home. But we encourage them also to reach out to us if they need support. We're finding now a tendence, as they say in Afrikaans, where children are maybe going to foster care at the age of 2, 3, they're still very young, and when they reach the age of 13, 14, they start acting out. I would say to foster parents that are sitting, or any parents sitting with a child with behavioral problems, that one should always just look at the root cause of things first. So our foster parents get frustrated, and then they will say, a lot of our foster parents will come, not all, quite a few, will come and say, well, I'm going to leave this child now, but I've had enough. I can't deal with this. We really should, I sincerely ask with the deepest respect, don't do that. We don't want to say, but there's a court order. You decided to have a child. We don't want to enforce that court order on you, because it's more traumatic for that child, first of all, with that rejection.
Yes.
And second of all, we try to work with that behavior. There's lots of programs, government programs. There's a RAW program, an 8-week program, where we send the kids, where they assess the kids and work with them and figure out but what is happening, so that we can send that child back to you. But also, one shouldn't become teenagers. That comes with its own crises. Our bodies are changing. We want to experiment with a lot of things.
Who they
and sometimes
are.
we ask for a little bit of patience, a little understanding, but we also don't want to overwhelm the carer. We need to support them and say, the child is going to this stage, and prepare them for every developmental stage. So we have our foster care social workers that work with the foster children and the foster parents. And then we have family reunification workers. I'm one of them. Family reunification means the child is in foster care in a children's home, but it's a 2-year order. It's a 2-year order. What must happen at 2 years? Those parents need to be supported, and services need to be rendered to them to equip them in a way that the child can return to the family. That's what I do, and I love it. To see parents really, and I have amazing success stories. Parents that are on substances, we offer them rehab. I work with that parent. When the children come home for school holidays, I'm there to monitor and support and see, okay, where you're still struggling, because the reason for that child being removed in the first place has to be addressed. So that's the three teams. And then we have our 19 investigators. I'm talking in a very jumbled fashion. 19 investigators. Once a child is found this child is vulnerable and has to be placed in safety. The court will place a child with a approved safety parent for 90 days. But that 90 days is for the worker to investigate what must happen with this child. Number 1, are the parents okay? Can the child go back? Number 2, is the child going to foster care? Or number 3, is the child going to a child and youth care center? So in that 90 days, they must really explore options that's in the best interest of this child. Bottom line, best interest of the children enjoy precedence. Where children are a little bit older, you're 9, you're 10, you're 11, and they're able to express their emotions and express their viewpoints. We want their viewpoints. They must write it down. What's your view of returning to your parent or going to foster care? We want to know, because our Children's Act makes room for child participation. Remember, we make decisions for kids all the time, but we forget this child. Imagine how children feel when we ignore them as adults. Hello, I'm also here. I also have an opinion. This is about me, and we really need to be quite wary of that. So our 90-day investigators will find the best placement option. And then, of course, we have our wonderful projects team, our social auxiliary workers, and our community developers who do the awareness campaigns. They go out in the schools, they're doing an anti-bullying program, life skills programs for the learners, Children's Act information, telling children, do you know that you have a right to this and this
So
and
educating them
this?
basically,
But at the same time, everyone has rights in this country, but we also have responsibilities. We have responsibilities to respect the law, to respect each other, you know. Parents have a right to have children, but they have a responsibility to take care of those children. So our project teams will go and work out they work out in all the schools in the area. Last week, they invited me to a presentation at Balvenie Primary.
Wow.
And we were just preparing the learners, the grade 7 learners for high school. What fears are there, you know, especially considering cyberbullying and all that. And then they do the anti-bullying program as well, identify the bullies that they can work with, but also identify the victim, you know, of the bullying and work with them. And then, of course, our admin staff, I always forget to mention them, one who does all our finances and make sure the book a club.
Yes.
And make sure that whatever donations we get is accurately recorded. Like I said, we're very transparent. What comes in must go to the community. We can't store it in a cupboard for years. What people give us must go to the people, the intended recipients. And our admin officer who receives all the calls from the public, and also she's the face of our organization when people come in, to receive them in a manner that's respectful, you know, and also to quickly help clients. Ek wil nie 'n kliënt vir 3-4 uur sit in ons kantoor en ek raak mal, because we must be effective, we must be efficient, we know what we're doing, and making sure that if clients come to us and they're not meant to be with us, to send them to the relevant resources, to refer them to the proper people they need to see. So there's a lot happening at our organization. We have Child Protection Week in the month of May. We have in August our month of compassion, where we want to show love to people around us in small ways. It's not always money. And then, of course, we have our fundraising events, our high tea event, and we always just invite the community members to come. And I think the organizations in Elsies really need to collaborate a lot more with each other, so we know who we are, we know what you're doing. How can you make me do my job better? In what way can I make you do your job better? And then my greatest appeal is always just, please help us help each other. A lot of families are struggling. Children without birth certificates can't get SASSA grants. Children not attending school can't get SASSA grants. So people are hungry out there. If you have, I have this idea, we should have a box at the work where people can just come and drop their non-perishable food items, sanitary pads.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Nathaniel, our girls don't go to school when they're on their period because they don't have sanitary towels. Small things like that we take for granted. Toothpaste. The child is not going to school because his breath doesn't smell nice because there's no toothpaste at home. We need personal hygiene products. We have a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes. People can bring it. There's always a family that needs it, but really the main thing is your Kimbies, baby formula, personal hygiene products, and non-perishable food items.
It can all be dropped at the office.
It can be dropped at the office. You can drop it at Inspire Elsies Radio, and you guys will give it to us. Any help. We need safety parents, committed families, committed people that say, we're willing to take care of the child. We have nothing against our names. We're willing to assist the social workers to find that forever home for that child. And also foster parents desperately need them. There's too many people in Elsies, man. I don't know. I know there's a few million in Elsies. Come on, people. We've got this. There's so much power in numbers. And corporates, we're surrounded. Every time I come onto the mic, I always moan about, we're surrounded by an industrial area, serious business makers, our clients are your customers. Why not invest in us? Invest in Inspire Elsies Radio. Invest in Inspire Network. Invest in Badisa. We get a subsidy from the Department of Social Development, but the money is for our salaries. We have to do fundraising to keep our lights on, to keep our cars going, to keep petrol so we can do these home visits. And we're desperate. I didn't come here to do a fundraising appeal, but we're really desperate for any help. Whoever's listening there, please come and support us. And yeah, with 6 days of activism coming up, I know the organizations are very busy. Everyone's mobilized. Everyone, all organizations. Elsies, Bishop Blaise Valhalla Park, shout out Woman to Woman, shout out to Inspire Elsies Network, shout out to the GBV Committee of Elsies SAPS. They are on the ball. We had a wonderful event earlier this morning. So, yeah, we need the community more involved. It was nice to see all those organizations coming together, a nice, beautiful group of people, but there's always going to be power in numbers. So come on, people. Come on. Let's make Elsies lekker again. Make it lekker for the children. December is coming. It's festive. Silly season. Crazy season. Let's have good, clean fun. And let's show our children that we can have fun and celebrate the birth of our Lord Savior and do it in a way that can really make children have wonderful memories of Christmas. Our kids don't have nice
Yeah,
memories
the kids
of
are
Christmas.
safe in January again for school.
In a nutshell, that's us.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. I could sit here for hours. That's just in a nutshell. There's a lot I could tell you, but yeah, please. And if we also need governing body members, so if you can serve on our governing body, we also need governing body members, those community members that really can bring their expertise, their skill set, and say, look, I can offer this to Badisa while at the same time serving on your governing body to make sure you're doing what you need to do for our community. And it's community members on our governing body. So please, safety parents, foster parents, board members, sponsors, donors, come to the party. I plead, I beg you. Please, we need you. The community needs you. Our children need you. Our aged need you. Our disabled need you. Our visually impaired need you. Our most vulnerable members need you. Our men who are abused need you. Our women who are abused need you. And there's so many of us. So that's it.
Sure.
That's it.
Before you go, there's about 2 more questions I want to
Yes.
ask you. Earlier you mentioned about the funding,
Yes.
but you didn't quite say how people can get involved in the
Yeah.
funding, and then also if there's any future events that Badisa is having, just to get it out there.
Yeah.
Seeing that this is going to go on YouTube, so you do not know who's going to see it, just to
Yes,
get it out
absolutely. Okay, so like I mentioned, we receive funding from the Department of Social Development, and really, to be quite honest with you, and our financial statements are public knowledge. So you're also welcome to come collect the annual report, and we'll give a breakdown of the financial year's income and expenditure. But really, 99% of what DSD subsidizes is just for the social worker salaries. And I see a vreeslike groot bedrag. I'm not going to become rich being a social worker, but that's not why I chose the profession. There's a joke in social work that says, we're in it for the outcome, not the income. So you're not going to become rich unless you're a private social worker. But we don't have extra money to buy Kimbies when we find an abused child who's probably been laying in that Kimby for 3 days and has a severe nappy rash. We've seen bad things. Kimbies, parents can't afford Kimbies. I'm old school, and I had my children, I was washing those cloth nappies, but parents don't have money. So they go buy a Kimby at the sponsor shop for R1, and that Kimby has to last 3 days. Imagine what that child's bum looks like, So Kimbies, we're desperate for Kimbies. Then we have obviously children that are in safety care. Government obviously provides safety fees for those kids, but those fees are also just enough just to eat. And then the safety parent will come and say, Laurel, do you guys have Kimbies? And then I have to say, we don't. Check the cupboards are bare, because as soon as it comes in, that's how fast it goes out. So Kimbies, bump cream, baby formula. When children are removed, especially a drug-addicted mom can't breastfeed. She can't breastfeed. Now we're removing our baby. Imagine. We struggle to get that kid on a bottle, that child on a bottle, but we need to, because mom can't breastfeed. So we need baby formula, and baby formula is expensive. That's why people just breastfeed. And then we find a lot of the children we remove, maybe it's a baby of 6 months whose mom has been feeding him just but water, sugar water. Scary scenario, or just rooibos tea. That child's not getting enough nutrients, So baby formula, big one. Personal hygiene products, like I mentioned, girls that don't go to school when they're on their period because they don't have sanitary towels. You as a man, you may not necessarily understand it, but the woman's dignity is in that monthly. She becomes a mother because of her monthly menstruation. But now she doesn't go to school because she's soiling her school uniform. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have washing powder to wash that uniform. So she'll rather stay out of school. We think our kids, they're just dropping out of school. But if you really, really dig down deep,
As you said earlier,
you're
the
going
root
to
of the-
hear stories of such human indignity as to why they're dropping out of school. Very sad situations. And then non-perishable food items, your macaronis, your tin foods, because we get donations. We get donations from Food Share, and we get donations from Woolworths. But again, how many people can we feed on that, So, and money. We love money. Who doesn't love money? If someone wants to come make a nice big fat donation, please come.
They can come directly to
They
the-
can come directly to our office, or they can contact our managers, or they can even contact our governing body. But I can reassure you, everything is transparent. We get audits from government. when we have money, they come and see you because remember they're giving us subsidy. They want to know we're doing what we paid to do. So they will come and monitor every few years, and they come with the auditors and check, the records and make sure the money is going where it's supposed to go. But also Badisa itself has auditors that check that and can assure sponsors where you put your money, that's where it's going. I want to brag a little bit about KFC and also encourage the community to donate those R2. People don't know where those R2 go to. But the organization that collects, it's a Home of Hope, that collect the R2 from KFC. And what they do with that money, they came to our organization, there's an independent creche, a daycare at our facility. They just rent the premises there. But Home of Hope came one day, and they came to tell us that they collect those R2 from KFC, and they brought educational toys for the kids. They sorted that ECD out so we could see where those R2 went. So even though you're donating and you don't know where this money is going, I rest assured that when money passes hands, especially at such a public forum as KFC's R2, then donate, because that money is definitely going to children. I've seen that. They came, they did the presentation, they invited us as social workers, come and hear what happens with this money. Not everyone is lucky to hear that, but even if you come and drop a R10, I promise you that R10, we're going to put it towards some baby formula. In every cent helps. And we have our fundraising events. We're not going to do, we usually have carols by candlelight December time to raise money, but this year we opted not to do it because last year we didn't get the numbers that we needed to get in. We can't spend money to have an event and we don't make at least a little bit extra. So we're going to look at next year is our market day. We'll come and let you guys know, you can advertise where they can, people come and buy some goodies and some veggies at a reasonably beautiful price. We always get sponsors to donate those things. And then our high tea event, and then obviously events during the calendar year for child protection, your child protection week, your month of compassion, 16 days of activism. There's so many. There's always something happening in child protection. There's always something happening. So whatever way you can lend, maybe you can tell us, I'm willing to print your posters in color, because we don't have color printers. Everything is black and white. We can't even afford a color printer. Maybe you own a printing shop and you want to maybe do our banner, make a banner for us. Oh, we'd love that. We need banners, because when we go, we can't advertise who we are because our banners are falling apart. Or maybe you have an expertise in proposal writing. Come on. If you can come help us write proposals so we can get more funding, hey, bring it on. There's so many ways to help. There are so many ways to help. Maybe you're a good artist. Come and draw some murals for us. Please, we need a nice play area. If you want to donate toys, sometimes the kids come in so broken and so traumatized and they just hear negative things. Die social gaan net verwyder. They need a space where they can be calm. Bring us bean bags, please. Bring bean bags so the children can relax. Our kids come, maybe the social workers will go out in the morning, remove 3 or 4 kids. The children will sit in the office while they're looking for a place where they're going to keep the kids, and the kid didn't have nothing to eat for the day. Please bring peanut butter, bring jam, so we can make them sandwiches while they're sitting there. We can't come and buy real chips or come and buy Mrs. Mukram's lovely eats and treats in front. We don't have the money. So any way will help. Every way. If you want to come, you own a spa and you want to treat the social workers to a nice, a massage, please. We need it. Like I said, care for the kid. Any which way, we will know how you can be of service to us, and we hope to be of service to you by advertising your service on our Facebook page and also saying this one is committed to child protection in their way. Let's also give them a shout out. So yeah, Brew, I can go on. I can go on. Let me digress. Let me stop. What else do you want to know?
Actually, the last question would be, we're speaking about everything happening in the community, how Badisa is helping, all the events you are having to assist, child neglect and everything happening. And then you see on the articles about young children, this happened to them, that's happened to them. And the last question is about, from your side as a social worker, from Badisa, what would be your advice to parents, to the community, to the children? Your advice from that perspective. Many of times you do not hear, as you say, when people see social workers, they think child removal.
Yep. Or food parcels. Kospakkies uit julle kinders verwyder. Those are the two favorite.
You see, those are the two.
Yeah.
But what people also don't see, that social workers are also human, and they're looking for the best for the community, for the children, for whatever aspect it is. So it's all about what is that motivation, the advice, the parent, the child, the community, putting it out there.
You know what's sad for me? Sometimes I tell myself, hey, don't talk like a social worker, because I'm also a mother. So the lines are very blurred. I'm also a mother. But as a mother first, I would say, parents, please, 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 register your children's birth. Mummies, please. Don't have a child and leave it for the social worker to do it and disappear. That's my first thing. I had a very horrible scenario in the week with an adult whose birth was never registered. And it was very sad to hear that. Please register your children's birth. If you're giving birth at hospitals, most of them are like Tigerberg, Home Affairs, you just a floor down and you can register your child's birth. That's first and foremost. Give your child an identity. That document, we take it so for granted, Nathaniel. Get your ID, you worry me. But we sit with children whose births are not registered. I have quite a few of my own 15-year-olds whose births are not, and it's a schlep. It's an annoying schlep to go to Home Affairs for something so basic, so common sense. That's first and foremost. Secondly, parent your child in a way that's not dictatorial. Parent your child in a way that's open and understanding. I'm not saying be permissive. Don't be a parent like a dictator. We have parenting sessions at our office as well that we do as family workers. And when it comes to rules and boundaries, I always ask my parents, who makes the rules in the home? They say, ek is the ouer en ek maak die reels. You see, there's no book that can help you become a better parent. But I would say examine your own childhood and look at how you would have like things to be done differently with you and try to implement it with your child. Make your child part of rule making. I would obey a rule easier if it was my rule I made. Now, if mommy asks me, what do you think should be a rule of the house? I want to come in at midnight and I'm 5 years old. Obviously, that's a silly rule. But if I'm a girl says, I'd like to play with my friends till about 6 p.m. doesn't sound too bad, but it's a rule I made. And hold yourselves accountable if you break rules, including adults. When I talk to the kids that we work with, I always tell them, adults are silly people, eh? The way they quickly agree with me, no matter how angry, how frustrated, how sad they look, they'll just nod their head. I said, yes, we adults, we make a lot of mistakes. As a parent, I've also made a lot of mistakes, but we learn from our mistakes. You are the parent of that child. You know, look out for each other's children. We've lost this. It takes a village to raise a child. Jana, as jy nou ouers se kind sê, moenie vir jou so gedra vir jou dan wil jy of jy kom doodmaak. Jy praat so met my kind, why are we like that? Why are we so combative? If someone is trying to correct your child, and try to correct each other's children with love. Don't try to correct each other's children to spite the mother or the father. Children learn what they live. If you swear your neighbors some ma's dinges every day and you expect your child to be well behaved and respectful in the house, you've got another thing coming. Because when that child gets older, that child's going to say, but this one doesn't practice what they preach, and your child will lose respect for you. So always try to be that role model. You start being a role model in your own home for your child. The school is not responsible to teach your child values. It's not the school's responsibility. They do it and they do it real well, but it's your responsibility. Charity always begins at home. We have parents. I've had parents I've worked with who said, nee, die donder se kind luister nie, of die donder se kind is stout, dan vra ek vir die ouer, hoe oud is die kind? 4 jaar oud. Nou wat doen die kind wat so stout is? Nee, hy spring op my bank, hy breek my goed, but that's what 4-year-olds do. That's what 4-year-olds do.
Active responsibility development.
Hoe is dat stoutigheid? That's a child exploring his world. Allow your child. You know, I was in Checkers, just a quick story.
No, it's fine.
Baie lank draag wees. So I was at Checkers in Paris Center one afternoon. And as I'm walking there, there's a mommy with a little boy and they're at the bakery. And he's so excited, he wants a pie. And he's up because, you know, Checkers are like, lekker goede, jou vars goede, and dier goede, but anyway, it's worth it. And the child is jumping around. And she's looking around saying, no, stop it, behave yourself. And he's excited because he's getting a pie. You know, I stopped and I said, Mommy, don't do that. Let your child jump and scream and geniet himself here in the shopping center because it's your child. Don't worry what other people think. He's being a child. And then she said to me, who are you? And I said, I'm a social worker. And she said, you know what, thank you for telling me that, because sometimes I feel bad when I have to reprimand him just because he's hopping around because I'm so scared of what other people think. I said, what is your child doing that's bad? He's so excited to be by the bakery right now. He's not doing anything bad. So when I see people, even when I see people driving in their cars, oh, dat grief my. When they have the youngsters in the front seat, I'm like a traffic cop now. They have the youngsters, the baby sitting on the left, but you're on the front seat. Or the child is sitting on the front seat, a little toddler hopping around, not strapped in. I'll be pointing at people. And you know what people do? They point to show you a thumbs up or for a flick your 8, but you're trying to protect the child, but it's against the law for that child to anyway sit on the front seat and the child is not strapped in. By the way, so little things like that are my little pet peeves. It's the silly season. It's the crazy season. We don't need money to give our kids a good time. Where do we get on this concept? You always need money to have a good time. We have the swimming pools around here. Yes, you need money to go in, but you don't need an exorbitant amount of money. Make things with your kids. You notice, go on TikTok, there's so many cool things, making bracelets, and there's so many cool things you can do without spending a great amount of money. Parents, spend time with your child. Ooh. Ek kan huil, né? Spend time with your child. You'll never get that time back. Yes, we're working, we've got our own stresses, everything has happened, but make time for your child, because if you don't, those people that are looking for your child to use your child will make all the time in the world for your child, to groom your child, to exploit your child. We know of people having children hide guns for them. We know of people having children sell drugs for them. We know about children being used on the streets to beg by their parents. We know of a lot of things, and there's still a lot underground happening. But spend time with your child, and listen to your child. Listen to your child. Not hear. Listen to what I'm saying. Not hear what your child has to say, but actually listen. Active listening. And, my children had to tell me about their own childhood traumas they experienced because of me and their dad. I'm a divorcee. And I had to listen to her. And I had to, it was very difficult. After I had to say, no, but I'm guilty. What my child is telling me, because that is her experience. And your child's lived experience may not be your experience, but it's your child's lived experience. And we need to give credit to our kids to say, our children have feelings. Our children are human. And our children can make mistakes, but that we as parents, if you spend time and you listen to your child and guide your child, you can never go wrong. I'm not going to say there's no such thing as a perfect parent. There's no book that can teach us. I can only but say from my experience as a social worker, my experience as a mother myself, and a sister, and having nieces and nephews, that children just want your time. Children want your time, and they want your attention. But make that time. It's exam time now. They're studying. We can come. And teach your child to do those little chores in the home. When the parents come to our office now, I observe a lot of things, and I'm not someone who's scared to say what I think. Gets me into a lot of trouble. But now the child comes in, the parent comes, the child is now. Don't try to impress us, giving the child chippies and juices and all that. We don't care about that. That's not impressive. What's impressive is when that child is messing that juice and that chips, and you don't get up and clean it, and you leave her after without having cleaned it, or ask your child to clean up after themselves. Small values. Small values. What's life skills? Oh, we can have life skills groups, but the parent is sitting there and you sitting there and seeing the child mess. You're not instructing your child to clean up after themselves, and neither are you. You're not cleaning up. Oh, like it by your eyes. Small things that I notice. And I say, no, Mama, you don't need to clean it. How old is the child? 5. Come, because that's part of the child's IDP, individual development plan. Mastery. What is the child? Can a child make his own sandwich at 6 years old? Allow your child to make a sandwich. Supervise the child so the child doesn't get hurt. Little things like that. We as parents don't need to do everything. You impart knowledge to a child who's still, children are sponges, they absorb everything by imparting that knowledge. A simple thing as crossing the road, another one of my pet peeves. These people don't look left and right. We have a serious problem in our road. The kids are running there.
Even when the robot's green, you just...
Teach your child to look left, right, and left again, and right again, and when it's safe, cross the road. Simple values. Respect, big one. Respect people's belongings, respect people, and don't talk about people in front of your kids the way you'll talk, and don't talk to each other the way you do in front of your children. No. Children don't need to witness adults arguing and fighting. We have a violent society, and our kids are becoming murderers younger and younger and younger. I'm not even going to the stats. I don't have the stats, but we live in a community. We see it. 9-year-olds sexually molesting 6-year-olds. We've had cases of little kids perpetrators. A child that's a perpetrator was a victim at one point. A child that's a perpetrator was a victim at one point. Let that resonate.
True.
And adults, even if it's not the parents, any adult in their child's life, whether it's a teacher, a pastor in a church, a community member, a neighbor, let us set the example. What nation are we raising? What's the next generation be like? This generation is already so messed up, if we have to be honest with each other. So that's my appeal. Let's look after each other. Let's respect one another. If you're not a respectful person, generally, you will net met almal baklei, start learning new habits. There's a thing that I always say, and I talk so much I lose my train of thought, that the best teacher, they say the best teacher is what? Experience, no? Adults, we have lived our lives. We have experienced childhood. Some of us, a lot of us, traumatic childhoods. Let us not send the next generation. We are capable of breaking that cycle. We can. If you put, nothing comes easy. But if you put in the work and you put in the attention with your own child, grandmas are now foster parents and taking care of kids. We should be taking care of that generation. Instead, we have great-grandmas taking care of kids because their great-grandchildren and their grandchildren and their daughters and their sons are on substances. The biggest epidemic right now is depression. Did you know that? That now, you remember when we had COVID, we had HIV many years ago, that's, there's an epidemic, it's a pandemic, and the COVID pandemic. But depression. And people are using substances because of childhood traumas, right? But I think everybody's depressed financially, spiritually. We're going through a depression. And when you're in a depression, you forget everyone around you. You're just in a dark place. Seek help. There's always avenues for help. There are resources that can help. If you're not sure, if you need a mental health check, please go to Tigerberg Hospital, go and see your psychiatrist, get a psychiatric evaluation. At CNE Malni, we're saying, I just need something to get me nice and stable so I can focus on my child and I can focus what I need to do as a citizen, an individual, a community member. So I have a lot to say, but let me say my final words are, we're going to Festive season. 16th Day of Activism is starting next week. I said, I did a little speech at the event earlier at the Salborough Sports Ground, and I said that when you put out a hand to shake someone's hand, to give someone a pat on the back, to wish someone well, or to give someone a hug. Don't put out your hand to smack, hurt, demoralize, dehumanize one another. Hold your hand for yourself. Hold your film for yourself. Let's build each other up instead of breaking each other down. And with that being said, I just want to wish all the listeners a very wonderful, prosperous, and most amazing festive season, a safe festive season. Look out for each other's kids. And if you see something that doesn't look right, don't be afraid to report it. You might potentially be saving the next generation just by saying, hey, I can't pretend to be deaf and blind right now. I need to report this. And Badisa is there to assist. We do it with pride. We really do our jobs really with a lot of love. We committed, a group of committed workers, and we can only do our jobs well when we have you backing us. So please, community, take care of your social workers and take care of one another. God bless you.
Oh, that's a wonderful ending to everything.
Yes.
I said people should not break each other down, rather build
each other up. Build each other up.
Rather build each other up. And with that, I want to say thank you for coming out. Thank you for taking out the time in your day. As you said earlier, you had the gender-based violence event in the week. You had so much going on, but you are still here.
We're still here.
Every day you're showing up for the community.
Fighting
every
the
day
good fight.
Badisa is showing up for the community. And many other organizations are also showing up.
Yes.
So with that, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, don't want to make this the last that we have.
No,
Badisa.
brother, I'm available whenever you need me.
We just, because I don't want it to be like, we have you now.
Yeah.
In the next 3 months, we have you again. I want to try and have it just so that we can be informed.
Yeah. And I have a different range of my colleagues here, especially like the community might want to know more about mediation, parenting plans. Then we can get the mediation social worker to come and tell you how you apply for it. Maybe you, a family member, wants primary care over a child because the parents are not doing what we will advise you. We have social workers that do primary care. Maybe there's a late birth. Maybe you're a grandma sitting with a child whose birth has been registered. We can get that social worker in so that the community has informed sessions and know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And straight from the workers that do the work. So I will encourage my colleagues also to come and have a conversation with the community. I will do
something for you.
Yes, please do.
Just to give to them.
Yes.
And then we will start by each and every single
knowledge
department.
is always going to be power, my friend. Once you know something, A for a way. So let us share all this information with you. There's a lot of laws and things that people don't know. I also want to just quickly tell the community, I thought I was done, to say that if you go to any government department, whether it be SASSA, Home Affairs, and you get treated in a way, or even our office in a way that's very undignified, because this profession means we must, first of all, we treat everyone with respect. I don't care if you're a prostitute, a drug addict, a drug dealer. You are a human being first. And we are qualified to render service. We are being subsidized to render service. We must render service with the utmost respect. Within due time, we shouldn't let things delay. We must react in a manner that's responsible. But also, I ask the community to work with us. Don't fight with us. Don't insult us. Don't make our jobs difficult. We're here to take care of the children of this country. And so, the only way we can do it is with mutual understanding and a mutual respect. And as I say, knowledge is power. Whatever you need to know, always ask. If you're being treated badly by any organization, get the name and the surname of that official, and you have a right to lay a complaint. Because ons kan nie net doen met ons wil met ons mense nie. No, we have to treat everyone with the same respect. And so that's the bottom line. But knowledge is power, and we want to give you all the information so that, and you're welcome to call our office 021-932-6721, or to come to our office at 91 6th Street, Elsies River, if you have any inquiries, or you want to know anything, or you're uncertain about anything relating to whatever. If we don't have the answers, we will then refer you to the relevant organizations that do. And there's a lot of organizations in Elsies. There's a lot that are doing substance treatment programs, your Equilibrium, you know. And then we have wonderful places like the GBV Committee and the Victim Empowerment Support Group, that if you need to get an interdict or you want to get an harassment order, they are there at Elsies Subs to assist you. And it's your community members, your neighbors that are serving on those desks. So, yeah, we're here for you. We're here for you, and we must be there for each other.
Be there for each other.
Be there for each other.
So with that, I want to say once again thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming in, definitely not the last. Please do encourage the other social workers, other departments to.
Yeah.
Then once they give the go, then we can always have like the collaborative.
Yeah.
We have each and every department. But so then we like maybe say for example, let's say. For just example, we said the month of January and February is for Badisa, just every single department, whether it is 15 minutes, it's
no, I can say with 100% guarantee that this would be what our governing body and our manager, I think, would be very happy to be doing, because they want us to market our organization. We want people to know who we are, where we are, and the services within it. So I think they'll be more than happy to get on board, and I know I will definitely support that as well. So thank you for having me again. Thank you for allowing me an opportunity to represent the organization, Badisa Elsies River. It's where it's at. A shout out to my colleagues. They work real hard. I worry a lot about them, their mental health, because this job does take its toll on you. And I also wish them and their families the best over the festive season. And those that are taking leave and on leave, please rest so you can come back refreshed. Care for the carer. Never forget that. Care for the carer. We can only do our jobs really well if we nice and refreshed and replenished. And yeah, please don't beat us down. Build us up. Thank you.
Yeah. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to you.
Yes.
Thank you to everyone listening, and then the viewers that will also watch it on YouTube, because it will be uploaded on YouTube. So with that, I want to say, if you just tuned in, you missed an entire interview. An interview that went beyond and then further. So with that, without any other further words, you are kindly tuned into Inspire Elsies Radio, making Elsies liquor again, having the organizations like Badisa and many other, not just making Elsies liquor again, but also the surrounding areas, which they have the power to make the change, be the difference, and then be there. And then lastly, I want to put this in. Don't, when you see a social worker, don't think it's just child removal.
And course buckets.
You see it. There's so much more.
Yes, please.
They're doing so much more. The late nights, as you say, you worry about them. You worry if they're on leave, burnout. You probably worry about their mental state, because the things you see, the people you interact with, it's not easy. While people are sleeping, the social workers are sometimes on the road at night. They get that call. They need to respond. They almost... You can actually say they're on the front line. They're with the front line. They're with the police, with the fire brigade, with the ambulance, because there needs to be a social worker in many cases present.
Facts. Yeah.
So I want to say...
You said it all.
Thank you to you. And thank you to your team.
You said thank you a million times, my brother. I receive it with graciousness and gratitude. Thank you. Over and out.
Over and out.